Hello everyone, welcome back to another Pokemon the series, the beginning episode talk. So in this episode, the gang is presumed dead. Yes, it is. The ship sinks, and then Officer Jenny throws down a flower for Ash, Brock, Misty, Jesse, and James. Weirdly enough, Jesse and James, but still. Okay, you know you're supposed to search in case of survivors. Just because a ship sinks doesn't mean it's immediately, like, dead. There could be survivors down there. Why are you not checking? Well, I guess the HM for dive didn't exist yet, so they didn't really have a choice, alright? They had to wait until Generation 3 in order to be able to go underwater in order to search for survivors. But turns out the gang is not dead, but the ship is upside down. As Ash asks why they are on the roof, but Ash is actually upside down. But Ash's question wasn't dumb because they actually are on the roof. Meanwhile, Jesse and James are dreaming of the beach, lying on the beach in the hot sun. However, they are being burned alive by the furnace, which is above them. So after they cool off, Jesse comes up with the brilliant idea of using acid on the floor. Which, well, in case you don't really know how this kind of stuff works, if you burn a hole underwater, that's not a good thing. So they get swept up by the water. Meanwhile, the gang finds a pool of water, and obviously since the ship is upside down, they gotta find a different way out. However, it is dangerous to go into the water and swim. In case of a dead end, you will drown. So Misty sends out Goldeen to search, and it turns out there was actually a dead end right there. However, Goldeen finds Team Rocket and brings them back. And then we have a wee bit of a fight. At least they send out their Pokemon for a fight. However, doesn't really work because now the boat starts rocking. So after a little bit of hijinks of going back and forth while we rock the boat, Misty comes up with the idea of just call your Pokemon back. That'll fix things, okay? Because that's the thing that ruined everything to begin with. But initially hesitant because of the fact that if we do that, Team Rocket will win. Well, obviously, Team Rocket will have to recall their Pokemon too. Everyone recalls their Pokemon. And now they have to team up until they are saved once again. So, as we continue through the ship, we need to go up a little bit higher. So, Brock sends out Onyx, which for some reason doesn't rock the boat, in order to make a staircase to go up. And eventually, we make it to the Room of Fire. So Jesse and James are basically calling their deathbed already because of the fact that they're not gonna survive that. However, Ash then needs an idea, so Pikachu shocks him and he gets an idea to use Bulbasaur's vines because, of course, when you think of fire, the first answer is always grass on how to fight it. So Bulbasaur uses its vines, the gang gets across. However, James is like, oh, just go on without me. And Jesse just slaps him a couple of times, which I'm like, okay, so that's allowed. Brock being hit is allowed, or Brock hitting Misty is allowed. Why was Misty hitting Ash earlier on not allowed, but this is allowed? So weird. Maybe it's because of the fact that these things are meant for comedic timing, even though this one wasn't necessarily meant for comedic timing, but I don't get it, alright? The dub is weird. But after the commercials, Team Rocket makes it across. So now we are at the perfect location. So next plan is burn a hole in the roof and then use your water Pokemon to escape. Ash has Squirtle, Misty has a Starmie and a Goldeen, so the Starmie goes to Brock. And Team Rocket, fend for yourself. Just use your water Pokemon. It's not like they've ever used water Pokemon to begin with. This was cruel on Misty's part. Like, really cruel. So the gang goes through and Team Rocket is like, oh, what do we do? And then James laughs because, haha, it is fish time, baby! So he sends out Magikarp. And then they all tie themselves towards Magikarp, but Magikarp is kind of useless in this sense. So it is presumed that Team Rocket is dead, and Brock comes up with the idea from, I guess, the Bible story of Noah. When you need to find land, send a bird to bring back a twig. So Ash sends out Pidgeotto, who finds Team Rocket. Oh my god. And brings them back, and the gang presumes that they are dead, so RIP the boys, and want to push them in until they wake up. And Pikachu is savage at this moment because Meowth is in the water. It's like, help, I can't swim. But he eventually climbs out of it. And Pikachu's just like, damn, he's alive. Pikachu, you savage. However, as they go to sleep and the next morning, there is no food. So everyone's starting to get hungry until they look at fish. And they want to eat fish. But fish is apparently only scales and bones. There is no actual meat on the fish. So James gets angry, it's like, you useless fish, and kicks it into the water, which causes it to evolve into the most glorious and mighty Gyarados, a Pokemon that has always been one of my personal favorites. I love Gyarados, especially in the Generation 1 games. Gyarados is potentially one of the most powerful Pokemon you can have, because of the fact that in Generation 1, and Generation 1 only, the special attack and special defense stat are one stat called Special. And Gyarados has good special defense, which means it also in Generation 1 has good special attack. So it's a great Pokemon for any team. So in that game, the Magikarp salesman is not actually a scam. Paying 500 bucks for a Magikarp is a W. Because around Misty, you might already have yourself a Gyarados on your team. That is already way powerful. However, this Gyarados isn't really happy about the fact that it was kicked when it was a Magikarp. So it follows the gang then rows away as fast as possible. However, then Gyarados stops, and the gang also stops, and I'm like, why? Continue on! If just because potentially that Gyarados is tired, doesn't mean you shouldn't continue on rowing. You don't need to stop. You should continue on rowing. Go faster, alright? Create as much distance between you and the threat as possible. However, what Gyarados was actually doing is not being tired, but instead, it's gonna use the power of Dragon Rage, which looks really weird, but also kind of cool. Even though, to me, it looks more like Twister, but I don't think that was a move that existed in Generation 1. Because I think Dragon Rage was the only Dragon-type move to exist back in Generation 1. So they get caught up in the, I don't know, tornado, water tornado, I guess, the Dragon Rage, and that's where the episode ends. So will the gang survive this? Yeah, of course it will. Of course they will. I mean, we have so many more episodes to go. Of course they will. But overall, I like this episode. I like the creativity that the gang shows in this episode. Using Bulbasaur's vines to cross the Lake of Fire. We have the fact that Misty uses her memory of building a miniature SSN in order to get out of there. Using Onix as stairs. Using water-type Pokemon to get out and get basically above the water. I like that creativity. I thought this was an actual great episode. I really like that stuff. And also, I'm a fan of, you know, good guys and bad guys teaming up. I kind of like that as well. So this was a great episode, but let me know you guys' thoughts in the comment section down below about this episode. And with that being said, thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope you guys have enjoyed. And if you did, please like button, subscribe if you're new, if you're not already, turn on notifications. Don't forget to check out the Let's Play channel, link in the description and at the end of the video. And I guess I'll see you guys next time when potentially the gang survives and we have some giant Pokemon. Bye!